Good evening, everybody. It's Brett here with the USSA Pro Star Series, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to another edition of Chasing the Checkers. We're going rogue tonight, so we're going to find out what makes women drive fast, what makes women drive competitive, and probably even why they want to do that at all. So happy tonight to be joined by the number 10 driver, Eden Mokler, and number 18, Kaylee Ebert. Welcome.
Hi.
Hi.
Nice to see you both this evening. So Eden, let's start with you. Tell us a little bit about where you're from, the classes you race, your interest in snowmobile racing, some of that kind of stuff.
I'm from Oshkosh, Wisconsin. I race women's F500, F500 Sport, just any of those F500 classes. I've been racing since I was about 5 years old. I started off in the WKCR group, and then I moved to USSA when I graduated from that group, and I've been in USSA obviously ever since.
So how many total years racing is that for you?
15.
Wow.
Gonna be 15, yeah.
That's impressive. You had a lot of fun doing it, or have a lot of fun doing it?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have any plans to stop in the near future?
Hopefully not. No.
Good. That's great. Kaylee, what about you? If my knowledge is correct, you're kind of a newcomer to this deal?
I am. Yep. This would have been my second full season this year. So I ran my first ever F500 race in 2019 at the World Series, which is my home track. And I loved racing my whole life and never had the opportunity to do it until 2019. So I plan to stick it out and learn more and hopefully become better.
So you were sitting around one day at a fire having a beverage of choice and decided to go snowmobile racing. Is that kind of how that works?
I actually was a Derby princess in 2014. So I've been around the track for a while. And then from there, I continued to help out around the track. And then I ran into the JG racing team, and they were able to let me ride their F500 in the women's class. So yeah, I guess I was kind of just thrown into it.
Yeah, that's two very differing stories. That's really quite interesting. Eden, where'd you get your race number from?
I was born on the 10th of November, and that's it.
That's been a really common theme I'm hearing.
Yeah.
The first time I ran into it was Cardell Potter when I asked him why number 58, and he said he was born on May 8th. So yeah. The more you run into people, you see how the birth dates tend to come into there. So for the regular fans that are out there, it's a good place to start. So if you're looking at a place to send birthday cards, we might have some help with that. So Kaylee, what about you? Where's the 18 from?
It's not my birthday. It just was the next number in order from 17 JG Racing. So I stuck with the next numerical number.
Well, that was nice of you. If you had to pick a birthday number, what would it be?
My birthday number would be 4.
Got it. Eden, what's your favorite track?
I really like the Wyawega track. I think just because the straightaways are so long, and I don't personally find that track gets too beaten up, so I kind of enjoy racing on it, and I can go fast. So
feels
that one
less like a snowcross track and more like an ice oval, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Kaylee, if I ask you, are you going to say Eagle River?
I am not actually.
Oh.
Wassa 525 was my favorite track that I've raced on so far. I can stick on my gas a little longer and really focus on leaning off my sled at the same time.
Got it. You guys both know I live in Ironwood, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Thanks for the love. Okay. All right. So there's a difference, I think, between your favorite track and the hardest track to drive. Eden, what's the hardest track for you to race on?
Definitely Eagle River, for sure. That track just gets so beat up and it beats me up too. Like I go home with bruises everywhere and very tired body. So definitely that.
Yeah, it's understandable. Kaylee?
I would also have to say Eagle River. Every time I have raced there so far, I have taken a little roll off my sled because of how rough it gets.
Yeah, it's I don't think the general spectator understands how much grip strength is required to be a snowmobile racer. It seems that you just sit on there and you're kind of going for this casual cruise, but anybody who knows anything about it knows that just isn't true. So, Kaylee, I'm going to ask you this question first because you're new, and then Eden, it'll be interesting to get your take on it. How does it feel to be involved in a male-dominated sport?
I definitely hope that more women come to the sport in the ice oval area. I definitely have a lot of guy friends who keep telling me to get out there in the sport class or the F500 class. So that kind of spooks me out a little bit yet because I'm so new, and they don't quite understand how new I am at this point.
Right. Right. Eden, what about you? What's it feel like to be in that class? Especially you've been around this a long time now, so it's not new to you.
It's definitely a little intimidating as I got older and more into the USSA group, because when I was in WKCR, I had multiple friends that were females racing, so it just felt normal. And then I transferred into the USSA group, and it was just like a totally different ratio to men and women. So it can be intimidating at times, but I'm glad to see more women racing. Bigger women's F500 class for sure, too.
Yep, I think it's great as well. Kaylee, would you say you're mechanically inclined? So when you come off the sled after a race, can you share the specifics, or are you the it just didn't feel right, I didn't like that one kind of a statement?
I would say the second part. I am not mechanically inclined. I try to learn what everybody is working on, but I definitely am more so the type to get on it, get on the track, and just drive, and then figure it out when I get off.
So how do you describe your race at the end for the members of the JG team that are helping you?
At this point, because I'm so new, I usually go out there with a goal of how to drive my sled and stay on it with leaning. So I don't really have too many mechanical things that I have to tell them when I get off the track. I do know that the sled that I'm on now definitely rolls better at the start than the sled we built last year. But I'm still learning all that kind of stuff.
I think Eden would tell you she's still learning too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Eden? How do you feel from a mechanical standpoint? Is it easy to share tips or requests or something with people that are helping you in the trailer?
It's definitely gotten easier over the years, especially since like I grew up on 120s and 340s, and all of a sudden I had to, learn different things on F500. So I'm learning for sure.
Yeah, good. And I know when I talk with other racers, the communication between a driver and a crew can be kind of critical to how the sled comes out the next round and how it feels. So it's interesting to get a little bit of a different perspective on that. Who helps you most in the trailer? Is it family members? Who's in there helping you make those changes and getting the sled to fit a little better, Eden?
It's just me and my dad.
Just the two of you?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So if you have a tough week at home with Pops and you bring them along, the weekend's a little challenging?
Yeah, it's definitely it's a challenge with just two people, but I think we're getting better at it.
Good. You know what? You're going to look back 25 years from now and really, really appreciate this time.
Yeah, right.
Kaylee, what about you?
I have Jordan Grabowski and his dad that help out a lot in the trailer. And then we usually have a few friends and family members that are also there helping me get ready, who can't help Jordan get ready since we run two different classes.
Sure. Yep. It takes a lot of people in this community, which I've really come to love. It's just fun to meet people and know the number of helping hands that are out there. There sure is much more to it than just the sleds lined up on the track. So Eden, it takes a lot to go racing for a winter. So you must have some sponsors that help you out and keep you going. Do you want to share a few of those with us?
For sure. My dad helps me out a lot financially with a lot of it, and fly racing, Woodies, all that good stuff.
Good. Yeah, they're important people along the way. So if either of you could design a perfect race for the day, the class it was in, the track you could pick it, how many laps, and some of your competitors, what would your perfect race look like? Kaylee, let's start with you.
That's a hard one. I would have to say I would go to 525. I like the 7-lap races. And I would definitely stick with the girls in the F500 class. I take a lot of learning from them and how they race and want to become better and follow their lines.
Okay, that's good. Eden, what about you? A track to start with, class, competitors, how many laps, what kind of stuff makes a perfect race for you?
I would definitely be on Wyega. I'd probably keep the laps down to 3 or 5. I'm not a big long race person. But yes, racing with women or racing with old race friends, I think would be very fun.
Sounds like it. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Eden, do you talk to yourself when you're racing?
Yes. A lot of swearing goes on in the helmet, so
I think you're the first person that's been honest with me.
yeah.
I think I'd be in that mode too. Do you talk to the
Yeah.
sled or just to yourself?
Probably just to myself. I guess I never really thought about that, but yeah, to myself.
Kaylee, what about you? Do you find yourself communicating under the helmet?
I do. I definitely talk to myself when I'm going around the track.
So in that same mode, would you ever be interested in having like a spotter's ability at the track where somebody could talk to you? Or do you just want to be in your own element and you don't want to get interrupted by somebody telling you what to do? Kaylee, what do you think of that?
I guess I've never had the experience of racing with a spotter. So I've just been getting used to doing it myself and just talking myself through it. And I also am out there remembering what other people are saying to me. So I think I would be okay without a spotter.
Okay. Eden, what about you? Do you want Dad's voice in your ear when you're racing?
Definitely not. I've been doing it by myself for 15 years, and I think that's something I could stick with. I just don't think I could get used to having a spotter. So
Sure, I can understand that. Kaylee, you're new to the sport, so I imagine the sponsorship deal is kind of something too. It's not just racing, and sometimes it's not always that much fun. But people obviously help you get out and do stuff. So who helps sponsor your sled and your racing fun?
They do. I have obviously JG Racing, J&J Construction, BSG Vinyl, who puts all the stickers on my sled, and a couple of our local restaurants, Sweetwater and Aaron's Pub, are the ones that help me a lot get out there.
Great. If you're in the area, be sure to patronize these sponsors. We've got some sponsors up at the USSA level as well, but it sure is important from the grassroots perspective to get out and join these places and share some of your money there. So we're gonna do some fun stuff. You ready? All right, Eden, what's your pre-race routine look like?
Stretching, continuously moving, otherwise I'll get very nervous. Nothing really fun.
No? Are
Usually
you doing the same thing every race?
Pretty much.
Get on the sled the same side and all that kind of stuff?
Just a lot of in my head stuff, so for sure.
Sure. Yep. Kaylee, favorite movie?
Ooh, I don't really have one, actually. I have a favorite TV series.
Okay, we'll take that.
Grey's Anatomy would have to be my favorite.
Okay. Eden, what about you? Favorite movie or favorite TV series?
Favorite TV series would either be Friends or New Girl. I don't really have a movie either. I can't really think of one, so.
Okay. Favorite energy drink? Eden.
Monster.
Kaylee.
I unfortunately don't drink energy drinks, so my go-to is coffee.
Coffee. Black or with cream and iced and caramel latte and all that stuff?
If I'm feeling fancy, yes, but usually it's just creamer.
Okay, got it. Name the one person, Kaylee, we'll start with you. Name the one person you wish you could pass at least once.
Pass at least once.
Anybody.
I would definitely say I would hope to pass Kendra Westland at least once.
Okay. Eden, what about you?
If we were thinking like in a fantasy world, probably one of the big champ guys for sure.
Anyone in particular?
Cardell, that'd be cool. Or Gunner. Or Blaine.
Want to drive around him, let him eat some chips, right?
Yeah.
So we can all dream. A little bit more of a serious question, but maybe not so much for both of you. Tell me one thing you'd love to change about ice oval racing. Eden, we'll start with you.
I'd love for more women to be involved, I think.
Okay. Kaylee?
I agree. And I know a lot of the women race in more than one class, but I think it would be really cool to have the women's F500 class race more than once a weekend.
Okay, good. Kaylee, who's your celebrity crush?
It definitely would be Justin Bieber.
The Biebs.
Yes.
Wow.
Embarrassing, but yes.
All right, Eden, what about you?
I have no idea. Trying to think. I don't know why, but Zac Efron comes to mind.
Zac Efron. All right.
Hmm.
We'll give you that. And the final just question for everybody is, if you could have one song playing in your helmet throughout the entire race, what song would you want to be listening to? Kaylee?
One song that always gets me pumped up is Thunderstruck by AC/DC.
All right. Eden, what about you?
I'd probably say any rock or like rap upbeat song would probably be really good.
No Frank Sinatra or any of that kind of stuff, huh?
No.
No?
And
All right. Well, maybe I'm dating myself. Who knows? So, it's been great to chat with you. I have high hopes for women in this sport. I just think there's a place for them, and I think there's a need for them. And obviously, having people like you out front championing the cause is just a huge thing for us here at the USSA Pro Star Series. So, for those of you watching it that maybe haven't seen a race, you need to come out and watch the effort that goes into the women's divisions and really see how competitive they are. They're fun, they're chatting, they're laughing now, but it seems like when the helmet gets strapped on, all that kind of stuff goes away and the competitiveness comes out. So, you know what the big final question is, right? I mean, I'm not trying to put any pressure on you, and I'm not trying to say if we're going to be friends or not, but there is one question we seem to just, everybody wants to know. So we're asking across the board. Eden, is it Reese's Peanut Butter Cup or Snickers?
I have to say Reese's.
Okay, that's a good answer. Kaylee?
Okay.
I would say Reese's as well.
Nice. I think we're ahead like 27-4, so we're doing well. I've been teasing some of the other guys saying that we're going to form a race for next year. We're going to call it the Peanut Butter Cup. So, but anyway, it's been great to chat with you. Have a good off season. Work hard, and expect to see you. If half the stuff we're hearing on the USSA side of it comes true, we're going to see a lot of you next year. Be a lot of laps for everybody and a lot of fun. So it's been a great night. Thanks, Eden. It's been a pleasure. Kaylee, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon, okay?
Thank you.